Ladies and gentlemen, Tone Mains, the time has come. The patch notes have finally been released by Respawn. Starting tomorrow, we have a lot of new changes to look forward to, some to be scared about. There's no time for intros. There's no time to watch Tones die. Let's go over these patch notes. I'll give you my opinions. You guys can give me your opinions in the comments below. Let's get right into it. These are the patch notes starting tomorrow for Operation Frontier Shield. So, if for some reason you haven't been paying attention to all this, I'll just reiterate. Tomorrow is the start of Frontier Defense. It's a 4-player co-op mode. It's basically like a horde mode. It's coming with 5 supported maps, which is Homestead, Forward Base Kodai, Blackwater Canal, War Games, and Rise. Yes, that's right. Rise from Titanfall 1 is coming back. It's remastered. It's also going to be in the regular multiplayer playlist. We're also getting a new live fire map called Township, but this update is more about the meat and potatoes of the balance changes. That is why we are here. That is why people love patch notes. Let's get right into one of those things. The very first bullet point, the very first one of these balance changes is so important. We were just talking about this in my previous video when we were talking about Scorch and what could be done to Scorch to buff him up. This is it. Ogre class Titans now have a baseline of 1 dash with a 10-second cooldown. We've been asking for this for months. Right now, as a Scorch player, it's almost a necessity. It's like, it is a necessity that you take that extra dash because it's necessary. Without having a dash with Legion or Scorch, you just feel incredibly slow. Ogre chassis are already slow, but without a dash, it's even more clunky. It's just awkward not being able to dash. So now that they're getting a base dash, that is amazing. I know it has a 10-second cooldown, but the next bullet point is Turbo Engine will now reduce cooldown of Scorch and Legion's dashes to 5 seconds. It will still behave the same as before for other Titan classes. So now that Legion and Scorch are getting 1 dash by default, we'll no longer feel obligated to use Turbo Engine all the time. Now we can actually use Extra Smoke if we wanted to, or Overcore. However, if you do decide to use Turbo Engine, it'll decrease your cooldown by the dash by 5 seconds, and it'll give you an extra dash. Imagine having 2 dashes with Scorch and Legion. That changes everything. I understand it's just a dash. It'll just, you know, boost you a few feet forward, but that having 2 dashes is going to be amazing. Having a 5-second cooldown on 2 dashes is going to be even better. I really like this change. The next change, the next bullet point, is Overcore now gives 20% core meter. This is a nerf. I believe Overcore used to give you 30% core meter by default. I could be wrong. I believe this is a nerf though, so they're lowering it by 10%. So what this is doing overall, a lot of people use Overcore. I don't want to see everyone because obviously I can't speak for everyone, but from what I know, people that I play with, I know most people use Overcore. So the fact that we're getting a 10% decrease or 10% nerf on this, it's just gonna slow down the game just a little bit. People are gonna take a little bit longer to get their cores. It's affecting every single person that uses Overcore. So I don't really know where I stand on this. It's not like it's that bad if everyone is affected. It's not like it's one strict nerf to a certain Titan. This is everybody that uses Overcore is just going to have 20% instead of 30%. It's just a 10% decrease. Nothing too crazy. We'll have to do some testing and see how the fights feel. Maybe they'll feel a bit prolonged, which is a good thing, I think. Next up, Electric Smoke unlocks at 20% instead of 25%. I don't have any strong opinions on this. We get it 5% faster, which is cool to me. I have no issues with that. Next up, we have a change to Ronin. Sword block damage reduction reduced by 5%. I don't really know how much 5% is going to affect everything. I'm sure Dino is looking at this bullet point right now and he's sweating and he's just like, I must test these things, and he's going to go test everything as soon as the update is done downloading on his Xbox. But if you ask me, when it comes to Ronin's sword block, I think it's really strong right now when it comes to blocking cores. Every time I run up against an enemy North Star or an Ion specifically, I always just kind of feel bad about them when they use their cores on me. I'm just like, stop it, that tickles. You know, I hate it when you do that. And it's just, it feels so weird that they use their core on me, and I just kind of stare at them like, is that it? Here, take this sword down your throat. And I just feel bad about it. So at least they're trying, they're reducing it by 5%. We have to do some testing with it. Next up, we have some more Scorch changes. Scorch will now have 1 dash charge with a 10-second cooldown. We heard that already. Increased Firewall's width. This is a nice change. Firewall right now is pretty damn thin. I feel like most of the time people can ignore it. Even if people do run into your firewall right now, they never really feel punished for it. At least that's how I feel. If I'm fighting a Scorch and they put a firewall down, I know it's supposed to be made to close off an area, to close off my exit, or to punish me for running a certain way. But right now I see a firewall on the ground, I'm just like, oh cool, it's a firewall. Let me step on it and take like 4 damage. So the fact that they're making it wider, I think is going to help out Scorch a lot in controlling these areas and just trying to stay like a threatening force. That when people see Scorch, they know, in the back of of their mind like, oh crap, now I have to really be careful about my positioning, because if I make one mistake, that firewall is going to kick my ass. We also have some changes to Scorch's kits. The first one is Wildfire Launcher. It now increases the direct hit damage of the thermite launcher. It still increases the amount of fire spread. I think this change is fantastic, and it's really going to make me rethink my decisions when going into a match with Scorch. Right now, if you ask me what the best kit to use with Scorch is, I wouldn't say there's, oh, well, you could use this one or maybe this one in this situation. I say, no, there's only one kit you should be using, and if you're not using that kit, which is Inferno Shield, you're doing it wrong. Obviously, this is my opinion, and it can be debated, but I honestly feel like if you're not using Inferno Shield, you are giving up so much potential with your damage. However, now that Wildfire Launcher is being added in it, it literally increases your DPS or your damage per shot. That is going to be really, really tempting. I want to test out how much extra damage it actually gives you. Wildfire Launcher could be the new thing, man. I'm really liking this change. Because even though I think Inferno Shield is fantastic, when you use Inferno Shield, you're pretty much forced to play a certain way, and that's like a flanker Titan or very aggressive Titan, because if you're not in the face of your enemy, then Inferno Shield is kind of a waste, so you want to make sure you're actually using that shield. However, now if you're using something else like Wildfire Launcher, you don't feel so bad about playing medium range or even long range and just trying to take shots with your thermite launcher, because now those shots, when you actually land them, are doing a lot more damage. So I really, really like this change. I'm looking forward to testing it out. Next up, Scorch Earth's lingering fire lasts longer. Did I say that correctly? I feel like that's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast. Scorch Earth's lingering fire lasts longer. So right now, Scorched Earth, I believe, is a kit that when you use your flame core, the damage or the flames stay on the ground for a little bit longer to do some AoE damage. So I guess it'll just do extra damage because the fire lasts longer. That definitely needs to be tested. That is for somebody who likes to use overcore and they have a lot of fun with their flame core. I think this is a good change, but I still don't think it's a kit that I'll ever use. However, this next one is very interesting. Tempered plating now makes Scorch immune to crits and his own thermite damage. We were talking about this in the last video. I was saying it would be fantastic if Scorch could be completely immune to his damage. I wish it was inherent. Unfortunately, it's not. It's still an actual kit that you have to equip to be able to do that. But the fact that you're immune to crits is fantastic. That means you can tank a lot more damage. This is kind of like when you're using Superior Chassis with the Tier 3 upgrade with Monarch. Having no crit spot it doesn't sound that crazy to the average player, right? But good players are always going to aim for those crit spots and do more damage to you. The fact now that they can't do that is fantastic. I like the fact that they're changing all these kits up, because now it really feels like you can play Scorch how you want to play him, and depending on which kit you pick, you can play him differently, and there's different play styles that'll be effective. I really like these changes to Scorch. I'm looking forward to testing pretty much every single kit. I don't know if I'll really test Scorch Earth that much because I can't say it without stuttering, but everything else looks pretty damn good. Respawn, good job. Next up on the bullet points, we have some Legion changes. Legion will now have 1 dash charge with a 10-second cooldown, which is something I said earlier, but it's good to reiterate. Next up, Hidden Compartment. Power Shot has 2 charges, which we knew already, and Power Shot damage is reduced by 15%. Ladies and gentlemen, Legion has been hit a little tiny bit with the Nerf bat. A reduction by 15% in his damage. Everybody that uses Hidden Compartment, we all know why we use Hidden Compartment. It is strong AF. I feel bad every time I hit somebody, especially a North Star or a Ronin that isn't blocking. If I can hit one of those Titans with 2 power shots, it's game over. There's no point for them to play anymore. They could just drop their controller and go watch a Jaredude video or something like that. I'm glad they're nerfing the damage by a little bit, but honestly, I did not anticipate this. This is completely random. I don't think anyone was even talking about Legion to begin with for these past few months, but the fact that they nerfed it was necessary. I'm glad to see the change, but some people are going to be very angry about this, Legion mains in particular.
Goddamn Iniquity ruining Titans, you're ruining the game!
Next up, we have some Monarch changes. I actually like some of these changes a lot. So the first one is the XO16 base magazine size increased to 40 rounds. Whenever I use Monarch, which is very rarely, but when I do, I always take arc rounds. And it's not because I actually want the arc rounds themselves, but it's because the same perk gives you an increase in your magazine size. So I feel like I'm getting more DPS with taking that upgrade. So now that our base magazine size is being increased to 40 without that upgrade, this gives me more variety choices. Now I don't feel obligated to take arc rounds. I could take something else in its place, which is very, very good. I like this change a lot. This next bullet point is definitely a nerf to Monarch, but I think it's definitely something that was necessary. Reduce the strength of the slow effect of Energy Siphon. Right now, when I get hit by Energy Siphon, I don't know if it's just me, I feel like it's kind of like getting hit by 12 arc grenades. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's so damn annoying getting hit by it and just feeling like my sensitivity is going from a 3 to a negative 15, and I hate it. So I'm wondering how much they're actually reducing the strength, but it's a nice change to see, definitely. I'm happy about this. The next bullet point from Monarch is slightly reduce effectiveness of arc rounds against Vortex Shield and Heat Shield. To be honest, when I use Monarch, I barely even fight that many Ions or Scorches, so I never really paid attention to how strong the arc rounds are against those shields. Like I said, I only use arc rounds because I wanted the increased magazine size. So I guess Respawn felt this was too strong. Like I said, I don't have much knowledge on this, so I can't really say too much about it, but if they felt like it needed to be fixed, then I'm sure it needs to be fixed. The last bullet point from Monarch is multi-target missile system no longer locks onto cloaked targets. Butterbar is somewhere right now just running around naked and celebrating. He's the only person who uses cloak nowadays, but I'm sure he's happy that these missiles will no longer be able to lock onto him. I don't know what I'm talking about. Butter, everybody cheer for Butterbar. Just tell him good job. Can I get a congratulations, Butterbar, in the comments below? Thank you very much. Hallelujah. Next up, we have some pilot balance. Aim assist settings have been modified for assault rifles and SMGs. My lord, I am very worried about this change. Obviously it was necessary, but I don't know how much they're changing the aim assist by. I'm kind of scared. Honestly, I felt like SMGs right now are in a good spot when it comes to aim assist. Assault rifles definitely need some tuning though, but they're modifying both gun types. It kind of scares me. I hope they know what they're doing. I trust Respawn though. We'll have to do some testing and see how everything feels. Guys, make sure when these settings go through that you give as much feedback as you can to let Respawn know how we all feel about this. They need to have our feedback. They are listening. This is the time to let them know what we think. It says ARs and SMGs require you to be aiming closer to your target before any ADS assist takes effect. I like that change. Reduce the overall effectiveness of ADS assist for assault rifles. Okay, so now it looks like they're honing more in towards assault rifles, which is definitely something we needed. Right now it feels a bit too strong. What I worry about, I say this in stream all the time when people ask me about aim assist and what I think about it being decreased soon. So I think aim assist on assault rifles definitely needs to be tuned down a little bit, but not too much, because I feel like if you ruin aim assist or you ruin the feel of the assault rifles on console, then nobody's going to use the assault rifles on console, and then everybody's going to use SMGs. Does that sound like anything to you? It sounds like PC. Everybody on PC uses SMGs, and people over there hate it. I don't want every single person to use one singular gun in this game. I love variety. Right now I feel like we actually have some decent variety, but if they lower the aim assist too much on assault rifles, we might not have that variety anymore. So I'm hoping that we find a nice balance for the aim assist, something that everybody could be happy with. Now, I realize this is reality, so that's probably a really tough task to achieve, but I really hope we get close to that. This is going to be something that I think is going to take more than one patch to test out, because this has been an issue for a long time, but some people are really used to what they have at the moment, so changing up the entire feel of the game could be a bad thing. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I understand we need some changes, we need some tuning done, but I'm hoping people, even with all these changes made, that everybody that's playing this game right now, I hope they all continue to play the game and still have fun, even if their favorite gun doesn't feel as good anymore because the aim assist was lowered, you know? We don't want anyone stopping playing this game and go play Infinite Warfare, let's be real here. Next up, Titan Hunter Kit modified to be 10% extra Titan meter from damage instead of 10% Titan meter on Titan kill. That's a mouthful right there. I think a lot of people after this change are going to start using Titan Hunter Kit. I spoke about this being one of my favorite kits when it was first introduced. It was never really that big of a change. It's just that I never really used low profile, so Titan Hunter was always something that I chose because I felt like it gave me that extra boost in getting my Titan faster. But now it's pretty much getting a buff, so you're getting 10% extra Titan meter every single time you damage a Titan, which is very, very nice, I think. Unless I'm reading this completely wrong, I'm pretty sure this is a buff to Titan Hunter Kit. I use this in every single one of my classes, so I'm going to continue to use it. This next change is something that we've already tested in the past. Phase Shift now has just one charge, but recharges faster. So Phase Shift is still going to be strong. Right now, the people that use Phase Shift all the time now, I still think they're going to continue to use Phase Shift after this nerf. it's still going to be pretty damn good. It just won't be able to be spammable like it always is. That's one of the annoying things about phase shift. If somebody is in a fight with me and they phase shift out, I normally don't really care, because for the most part I can just sound whore them or look at their trail and still find them and still kill them after they phase. The annoying part is when somebody spams phase shift twice consecutively and then they just run away, and it's like, really, dude? Like, you just spammed your phase shift and got away because of that. That always felt very cheap to me, and I think it felt cheap to everybody else, so that's why they're changing it. I'm glad to see this change finally. Now, this next change or bullet point kind of worries me. I'm going to read it to you guys. You guys let me know what you think about it. SMGs, medium and long damage, significantly reduced. Significantly. Remember that word. One of the positive changes we saw in the high TTK playlist was the increase of weapon diversity. It is our hope that between the aim assist nerf and this SMG nerf, we'll see weapon diversity increase across all 3 platforms. So, they're nerfing aim assist, they're nerfing the damage at medium and long range for SMGs. So now people are going to have less of a reason to use SMGs because they're not as great at medium range, and the aim assist isn't as great. So is Respawn saying they want people to use more LMGs or grenadier weapons? I don't really get what they're trying to say. They say diversity, but I feel like if you're nerfing the damage on SMGs and you're nerfing the aim assist, no one's going to ever want to use an SMG because now they know they have to get super close range for it to be effective. Now I feel like if they think SMGs are going to suck now, they're going to have more reason to use assault rifles. So I don't know if this really promotes diversity. I could be wrong. I'm just reacting as soon as I read these notes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm torn between this decision. I don't know what to believe here. I want SMGs to be in a good place, and I hope that this nerf isn't too harsh. I really hope it's not. Next up, the G2, reduced fire rate. I thought the G2 was going to get hit a lot harder than this, but I do like to see the reduced fire rate. Right now, you can spam the hell out of it, especially if you have a modded controller or something like that, or you just put a macro on your PC mouse. Right now, the G2 can be fired so damn fast that even if you miss a few shots, it doesn't matter. It just feels like an automatic weapon. So I was hoping that they would add some range drop-off to it so you couldn't 3-shot somebody across the map on Angel City. Maybe we'll see that in the future, but for now, I'll take what I can get. Reduced fire rate sounds very, very good for the G2. They're also reducing the fire rate for the DMR. It says, we felt that the reduced fire rate simply made the gun feel better since the gun stabilizes better between shots. I don't really have an opinion on this because I'm a terrible sniper. Everybody knows this. So for you guys that use the DMR a lot, let me know what you think about this change. Is it good or bad? I would like to hear your opinion in the comments. Next up, the Flatline. Slightly reduced damage at medium range. It still has the best medium range damage of any assault rifle. I'm kind of confused about this change. I feel like the last nerf to the Flatline, it didn't make the gun useless. The gun was still decent. I still use it from here and there. But I feel like if you're really trying to win a game, there's no point in using the Flatline because the R201 is so much better now. The Flatline used to be amazing, but after the last nerf, it's just kind of there. It's kind of decent. Never was amazing, so I don't know why they're nerfing it again. I don't even see people using the Flatline anymore, so I'm kind of confused about this. Maybe it's just my games. I don't see the Flatline. Maybe it's still very popular, but in my games, I feel like I barely see it. Next up, the Archer no longer locks onto cloak targets. Praise the Lord, Butterbar. Keep on running with your cloak, homie. Next up, we have Sidearms. Their power level has been brought down now that all pilots can carry a secondary weapon. I'm a little nervous about this. I don't really know what that means. Their power level has been brought down. We have no numbers to really judge this change. I'm wondering, are all the pistols going to take an extra bullet to kill now, or 2 extra bullets? I hope they're not worthless now that everybody has the sidearm. I hope they're still fun to use. I understand they're sidearms, so you're not really supposed to go into a game with the P2016 and only use that weapon. Like, I don't think that was what their original intent was, but at the same time, I don't want them to feel completely worthless where I never want to even take it out of my pocket to use it. You know what I mean? So I still hope sidearms are worth using, and I don't know, we just gotta do some testing, man. I'll let you guys know what I feel about it once that update actually comes out. And last, and certainly not least, we have some changes to the melee. Lunge time and melee hit frames changed to 0.3 seconds from 0.2 seconds. This will help people firing weapons, particularly automatic weapons, get extra shots in before the lunge completes. This is probably the main thing that makes me tilt or pissed off when I'm in a fight. I put shots into an enemy, and out of nowhere, it feels like they just teleported and lunged at me and killed me, even though there were like bullets flying at them. So if they're increasing the time that the lunge actually takes to execute, that's very, very nice. That extra bullet or extra 2 bullets will definitely make a difference. I think this is a good change. Next up, melee lunge range reduced. This is very good. I don't know what the numbers are, of course, so I can't really judge it, but at the same time, we know that now that the range is reduced, we have to be closer for that lunge to actually kick in. That Halo 2 sword lunge, it won't feel as strong as it does right now. At least that's what I'm hoping. We have to do some testing with this, but I love that Respawn is trying to tweak the melee. This is probably the main thing that most people complain about more than anything else, so I commend you guys. Thank you so much for trying to fix the melee. Next up, non-lunge melee attacks range increased. Let me say that again. Non-lunge melee attack range increased. This will help the cases where melee looks like it should hit but doesn't connect with the target. So this is when you're actually really close to somebody and you see your foot basically connect with their face but nothing happens, and it's just like, what the hell? Melee is broken! So they're actually increasing that, which makes sense. So if you're not lunging but you are meleeing them, that range is increased. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I never even thought of that. I like this change a lot. And that is pretty much it. I had no idea this video was already 20 minutes long. I kind of just turned on my microphone, minimized everything, read over these patch notes, and gave my opinion. I didn't think it was going to be this long. I apologize. But thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about all this, whether it's a patch note that you are for, something you're against, or something you're confused with. You've heard my opinions. There are some things that I love here, some things that I just don't agree with at all. But in the end, we're all fans of Titanfall 2. We all want it to be the best game possible, and Respawn wants the same exact thing. So even if you don't agree with something, just test it out, see how you feel about it. You might change your mind. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's get hyped for Frontier Defense. If you're not playing the game yourself, I should be live streaming on Twitch TV with Tony Mo, Jaredude, and Butterbar using his damn cloaked pilot. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.